Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And so we have some breaking news. Yes, it happened. Now, there was rumors for a long time about this accusation, whatever, acquiredness of the Crunchyroll being bought by AT&T. Or AT&T selling Crunchyroll to Sony Pictures. Sorry. So this has been going in the wild for a couple of months. There's been rumors on it. I chalked them up because I honestly didn't think this would happen, especially with what the rumored price for the sell was. But they officially announced it. It's everywhere. Sony made a press release. I put the source. IGM, I think, were the first people that came out with it. But Sony Pictures has made a statement. Crunchyroll has made a brief statement. Funimation made a brief statement. It's official. There is a mandatory process of approval for this to officially go through. Some people, there's a lot of people that don't like this. There are some people that seem to be okay with this. A lot of the actors seem excited, which doesn't surprise me. The actors, of course, are going to support this. What's my take? Well, I don't know exactly what Funimation's planning on with this, or Sony's planning on with this. So here's my take, as we kind of go through everything here. So the announcement was AT&T has announced they will sell the Crunchyroll animation business to Funimation, which is owned by Sony Pictures. The deal is reportedly for among $1.2 billion. So here's my freaking statement about this. Sony, what the hell are you thinking? Okay, I know some people have talked to me about this and said, are thinking, well, they're thinking about the other countries and whatnot. This is made for a niche fan base. It is not a Netflix. It is not a Hulu. It is just an anime streaming service. It is not worth $1.2 billion. Okay? It's not. There's no way that this is in the same value of Spider-Man. There's no way. There's no way you can tell me that this is around the same value as the Spider-Man movie was. There's no way. It's not that worth that much. Like, I don't know what these guys are smoking. Like, Sony should be focusing more on their movies. Which, other than Spider-Man, they're not having that many successful franchises. The Spider-Man franchises that they do. So, I don't see what they're trying to do here. The only thing I could see them possibly doing this is just basically trying to merge Crunchyroll into Funimation, or whatever they're trying to do. I don't know if Funimation or Crunchyroll will become Funimation, or Funimation will become Crunchyroll. I don't know what they're trying to do. What's going to happen to the studios? Are they going to relocate? I don't know any of that stuff. It's really too early to see what their plan is. I literally chalked this up as a joke. I literally never believed this was going to happen. I thought these rumors were wrong. I know there was rumors, but I just couldn't buy them. I really couldn't. I couldn't buy the believability that they would actually pay this much for a streaming service that is only for anime fans. You know, sub-anime fans, to say the least. I mean, yeah, they do have some dubs here and there, but most of the stuff they do is subtitles. Like, I don't see the value in what they're doing. And of course, they know, I mean, there's more stuff going behind the scenes that I'm not aware of. I'm not trying to say that I know everything about what's going on, but looking at this from outside, I don't see what the value is in them buying it. All right, I know, you know, some people just don't like this just to not like it because, you know, they don't want, you know, monopoly or whatever. But I look at this from a business standpoint outside looking in, and I don't see the value in why you would pay $1.2 billion for a streaming service that only anime fans are going to watch. And sub fans, if that, you know, because the majority of their stuff is sub stuff. Obviously, they have some anime stuff as well, you know, as well as some of the dubs that they've dubbed. But the majority of their stuff is subbed. Okay, so I don't look at Crunchyroll as something like viable for like you know, for Sony. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here with this. You know, of course, Funimation is going to be very positive about this. Crunchyroll is going to be very positive about this because that's what they're paid to do. So, I don't know. I don't know if this is good or not. It's really going to be time will tell. This does have to go through, which they already confirmed this. This has to go through a mandatory like approval stage through the FCC and the government and all that. And honestly, I don't see how the government like approves this. But then again, they approved the 20th Century Fox thing, which I still don't know how that got approved. The 20th Century Fox deal with Disney, they approved that, and I vastly disagreed with them approving that deal because, again, that is a monopoly. Like, you know, and this just really kind of screams monopoly. It really does. I mean, granted, I'm going to say it right now, I don't really like Crunchyroll that much. I'm not really a big fan of the Crunchyroll brand, you know, because it's subbed. You know, most of their stuff is subbed, so I don't really follow Crunchyroll that well. But honestly, I don't see the value in what they're getting out of this, besides just merging the streaming service with Funimation. That's literally the only thing I can think of to why they would be doing this. So, you know, this is where we're at. Like I said, a lot of people are pissed about this. There's some people that are happy about this. You know, some people are saying, well, here we go, more censorship. And it's possible. You know, I never see. Here's the thing, and I know some people hate censorship. Some people are okay with censorship as long as to a certain extent. Some people, you know, don't like dub changes. The fact of the matter is it depends on the censorship. Like I said, the Fire Force episode 3 censorship on Toonami, I like that they censored that because I thought that scene was terrible. You guys know what I'm talking about if you're a Fire Force fan. I thought that censorship was terrible, and I'm honestly surprised Funimation didn't censor it on the Funimation Now. That's something that, of course, the fans don't talk about. Like, they talked about how it was censored, but they don't talk about how Funimation Now didn't censor it. Like, but then they also then go on to blame Funimation for censorship, on certain stuff, It's stuff like that that seems like very hypocritical. And I don't care if you want to, like, hit up Funimation on criticism, but actually make sure it's actually criticism that's valid. Some people have talked about they've done dub changes. Okay, they've been doing that for years. They did it with Dragon Ball Z. Which everyone loves Dragon Ball Z to this day. A lot of people love that dub, myself included, and that had a lot of dub changes. But you don't see people complaining about that. You don't see people complaining about jelly-filled donuts in Pokemon. It's a meme now, but, that's my point, though. It's like, so many people complain about dub changes, but then they'll, like, be okay with other dub changes. It's like nitpicking. A lot of people just nitpick on what they want to be changed and what isn't changed. In terms of the change, I don't think there's really going to be any difference in terms of the aspect of Funimation, like in Crunchyroll. Like, they're either going to merge as one streaming service, or they're going to be two streaming services. Maybe Crunchyroll will be like all subs, and Funimation will be all dubs, or they might just merge into one big thing. Who the hell knows? I don't know what they're going to be. The one thing I can say, though, is in terms of the change, in terms of how the company is going to be now going forward, if this does get approved by the government, what will change? What will change? To me, what will change the most, this is just my opinion, this is just my personal opinion, what I think is going to change the most is the casting, the actors. I think this is going to affect them more than titles, being licensed and whatnot, because, most of the dubs for Funimation are done in Texas. Most of the dubs for Crunchyroll are done in LA. What's going to happen? Is it just going to all be in Texas, or are they going to, share the love with the LA actors? That, to me, is what I think is going to be affected the most out of this deal. Not so much what anime gets licensed and which anime doesn't get licensed by Funimation. That, to me, is what I think people aren't looking at. People are more looking at, oh, how is this going to affect, the streaming experience? How is it going to affect other titles, whatnot? It's not really going to affect the titles. The titles that Crunchyroll was planning on doing, and the titles that Funimation were planning on doing, they're still going to get done. The issue, I think, is more of the cast, on who is going to be casted and who is not. With Crunchyroll being merged in Funimation, this could potentially take a lot of work away from LA actors. Or it could be the opposite. Sony Pictures might decide to close down Funimation and just relocate to Crunchyroll. Because Crunchyroll, I think, is in California, right? They're, like, located in California, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere around there. In LA. And if they're out there, obviously Sony Pictures, where the headquarters is, they're obviously, closer to Crunchyroll chronologically than they are to Funimation in Texas. So they might decide to close down Funimation Studios. People don't see that. People are only looking at the anime titles. They're only looking at censorship. Like, I've been looking at a lot of people's tweets, just from all these comments that are coming in from people that are, from, all these press releases and stuff. That's what mostly people are talking about right now. people aren't talking about the business side of it, from the voice actors, the cast, the people that are doing all the work. They're not thinking about that aspect of it. And so this could be a potentiality of these guys and women are potentially might lose their job and might get limited jobs because of the fact that they might decide to close down one studio. And they might decide to relocate. Of course, I don't know for sure if that's going to happen. I'm not trying to worry you guys and say, oh yeah, this is definitely going to happen. But that's what happens a lot when mergers happen. So you have to expect the unexpected when it comes to a merger like this. A lot of things could change. With this. In terms of the titles, in terms of the titles getting dubbed or titles getting subbed, that stuff's going to still be around. That stuff's going to still be around. It's just a matter of how everything's going to be structured going forward. That's one thing we don't know yet and still don't know. So that's the thing I'd like people to think about. Because there are a lot of people that could lose their jobs because of this. And that's probably the thing that I think, from a perspective of the merger, that I think is the worst. Because every time we see mergers, that's always what seems to happen, is that people lose their jobs. There were people that lost their jobs at 20th Century Fox because of the merger of going to Disney. And so that's could be what happens here, is that people could lose their jobs because of this merger. Like I said, I don't see $1.2 billion in this franchise. But that's where it's looking like everything is heading right now, guys. I hope for the best for everybody, obviously. I don't want anything to happen to people that are, doing hard work and just all of a sudden lose their jobs because of a merger, but that's something that could potentially happen. There's a lot of possibilities, and a lot of people are just looking at the streaming aspect of this. They're not looking at the other aspects of it. So I just want to caution people about that. When thinking about this merger. So, yeah, guys, this is tough. It's tough. If you're a Crunchyroll fan, this is going to be tough. Are they going to retire the mascot? That I don't know. Like I said, we don't even know what's going to happen to these streaming services. So, yeah, but again, breaking news. 1.2 billion. AT&T selling Crunchyroll to Funimation. That's my thoughts and my comments. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate. If you like this video, my videos, please subscribe. And that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, moderator.